you're just starting out and you've got a small business and you're just starting out, 100% CRM system, you have to have it. It will support the business. It'll allow you to grow. The other great thing is that it will allow you to build a database of prospects, and this is what you can use for going back and marketing to them. Maybe you didn't win the business, but that doesn't mean you can't win the business in 6 months' time or a year's time. So a CRM system really helps you keep track of things, where if you didn't have that, it becomes almost impossible to keep track, to be honest. I'm Lisa Macqueen. I am the CEO of Clean Corp, based here in Australia, and my husband started this business 31 years ago. I joined the business in year 13, and I've been here ever since. And running a cleaning company like a media and marketing company. So that's what's given us the edge. That's what's given us an amazing profile and our brand strategy for how we connect with prospects and clients and attract great team members into our business.
I love how you have the perspective of your business of, I'm not going to treat it like a cleaning business. I'm going to treat it like a media company so that the cleaning business can benefit from it. So it's like when your focus is there, obviously we're in that era of the internet, like everything, you really have to get people's attention, and you got to do it in a way where you can find your ideal people, your ideal client. So I just love how you just put that into perspective of, we're running it in this way so that the cleaning business can benefit from it. So I'm really excited to get into that part of just picking your brain on what are you guys currently doing to be able to attract your guys' ideal clients by treating your business in a media way. So what did your business look like before crossing the $1 million mark? You had mentioned your husband was in the cleaning industry for 13 years, and he hit that plateau. You coming in, what was your viewpoint of the business before crossing that mark?
Yeah, great. Great question. So when that 13-year mark, I had my own career. Hamish was running Clean Corp. And when he said he wanted me to come in and bring my sales and marketing knowledge into the business, we were doing about 700,000, but had been doing that amount for a couple of years. So it didn't seem to matter what was tried. It didn't budge past there. And the thing is, when I came in, I didn't even know I didn't know a thing about the cleaning industry. That's number one. But I think that happens to a lot of people. It's a low barrier to entry industry. And so, you can literally go and buy a mop, a bucket and a vacuum, and you're kind of in business. So when I joined, I thought, well, that's okay. I'll figure it out. But what I realized really fast was that certainly within our industry, and I'm based here in Australia, nobody seemed to be marketing their cleaning businesses. They just existed, and and they were working based on referrals and stuff like that. Which, look, I'm it's great if you can get referrals, but it's not. For me, I wanted us to be able to have a steady stream, like a deal flow that was constant, so that we would be able to grow. And so, right from the get-go, I saw that there was that little space in the market and my expertise in marketing. And I thought, okay, let's put the two together and let's see what can happen. So I did that. And within 2 years, we were sitting at, I can't remember, it's either 2.2 or 2.4 mil. So we went from 700,000 to just over 2 mil in, the space of, in a very short period of time. So I proved to myself that approaching the business as a media style business was going to be the best way forward for us. And it has proven to be that way and continues to prove to be that way.
Yeah. Do you feel like your husband had this brain explode when he started just seeing the revenues grow so fast?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was like It was like turning on a tap. And that probably sounds really, like a silly way to explain it, but that is exactly how it felt. Because prior to that, there would be like the odd lead that would come in, but everything else was like he was out having to hunt for everything. And I think a lot of people who are listening to this podcast today would probably be able to connect with the idea that that gets very exhausting. If you're the cleaning business owner and you're out there hustling and hunting every day, it's really hard to grow your business because that takes so much time. So to be able to scale your own organization, you have to be able to find a different way in order to get deals coming through to you. So yeah, so Hamish was he in those early days. Yeah, he had a big smile on his face a lot of the time, actually.
I bet that smile was the
Yeah,
biggest he's ever had in his life.
yeah, he was pretty
Yeah.
stoked about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. What now to have that massive growth in just a short period of time, like what type of mindset shift helped the company scale the most? Are you uncertain about what you're doing in your cleaning business that's not taking you to the next level? Or you might feel like what you're doing is not the right things. It is okay. That's why I'm here. I help cleaning business owners just like you get the right answers, put good systems and processes to grow your business with confidence. Without confidence, you cannot be a business owner and lead your people. Click the link down below to schedule a free call. We'll talk all business and I can give you the right steps for you to take to give you that confidence back. I cannot wait to connect with you.
Well, I want to give you a really insightful answer to that question, but the reality is that when you're in that moment, when you're rolling through, every bit of day to day, I don't think that I actively thought about that at the time. It's only now reflecting back, I think that it was excitement. I think there was a great deal of energy around the fact that, my God, look what we're doing. Look what's possible. And I think that's how we reacted to this. It was, wow, it's working. Like probably surprise and excitement were the two main things. And then from a mindset perspective, I think that we're both naturally optimistic people and we do tend to focus more on what's going well rather than what may not be going as well. So we stayed really positive, but look, we had a lot to be positive about. That's not to say there weren't, of course there's ups and downs. Nothing is just like this in business, right? But I think that we just had that level of, yeah, we can do it. And yeah, we are doing it. And that's kind of what, yeah, that's how I feel about it on reflecting back.
What were your what how did those first 3 months look like, and what did you notice that the business was missing?
Well, the first 3 months was a big learning curve for me, obviously. I'd come from international hotel sales and marketing and was working in a cleaning business of which I knew nothing about how, like I literally had to learn how to market something that no one wakes up excited wanting to buy. In fact, it's almost a grudge purchase buying a cleaning contract, right? Buying cleaning services. People don't, they don't care. Certainly way back then, they cared even less. So I think those first 3 months was untangling that in my mind and putting that aside as, okay, yeah, that is a challenge because it's easy to market something that people get excited about. It's a lot harder to market something like a cleaning service, to market something that is considered, a bit boring to procure. So figuring that out. And then I think the next step was just realizing that, okay, in order for all of this to work, we need to have some systems and processes in place that will support us as we move through this growth phase. And I mean, look, in those early months, I was just full of energy and hope that we were going to be able to do it. And don't forget, my husband has asked me to come into this business. So all of our eggs are in one basket from a financial standpoint. And I didn't want to fail in his eyes. I didn't want to join the business. Here he is thinking that, I'm this amazing marketer. I didn't want to fail. So I had so much motivation to just like nail it and not give up. And I remember just wanting to push as much information into my head on how to do this. And so, yeah, so I really, I learned a lot. I was on, like I read so many books, just trying to get that edge on selling something that I didn't know how to sell. And I think this is something that is often faced by new business owners. They've come up with a great idea. They're not actually quite, look, it doesn't matter if they're in cleaning or they're in, pressure washing or whatever. They don't actually know how to sell it or how to market it. And that takes time to figure out. So yeah, those first few months was just really figuring that out for me. And then just realizing that once the leads started to come through, understanding how then to have a system and a process in place that would make sure that no one slipped through the net, no inquiry was left unanswered, no quote walkthrough was left undone, all that, all the mechanical stuff that we do every day, but maybe don't necessarily think that we need a process, but in fact we actually do. So there was a lot of that going on.
What was that operational system? Because you coming in to a new industry, now you have a perspective of what the business condition was at that point. What were those operational systems that needed to be changed or replaced to be able to receive a bigger impact in the growth?
Yeah, the big change maker here was signing on the dotted line for a CRM system. That was the huge one, because up until that point, the systems and processes that had been existing when I joined Clean Corp were pretty much just pen and paper, you know, pen and paper, here's how we do it. And that will only get you in your growth or as a business. That will limit you so hard, but you have to start somewhere, right? And I mean, you have to be realistic. So that's what we had. Pen and paper, keeping notes, and it was so imperfect and so messed up. So when I came in, I said, look, we need to invest in a CRM system. And then once we invest in that CRM system, the pen and paper stuff has to go. That we can't be running two systems. We can't be we've got to be all in and do it, you know, do it for the business. And so we did that and became very, very adept at it. In fact, won a big prize in the US because of that. And the way that we used technology to grow and support the business became a really huge thing for us. And even to this day, I mean, our tech stack is it's unbelievable. And I love all things tech, and I love the way that it can help my business grow. But in those early days, just committing to it. So yeah, that's where we started.
I'm sure I'm sure the CRM, just that itself saved saved your team, a lot of time, a lot of headaches, a lot of things that were just possibly maybe breaking or uncertain out in the field. I'm sure that
Yeah.
workflow even saved you guys a ton of money.
It did. And the thing is, it saved us a ton of money because we had that, we didn't have to hire extra admin people. That was critical for us because we wanted to run lean, just as lean as we could without going, we were working hard on growing the business. We were both quite capable of working in our respective lanes. But having the CRM system really saved us from having to make additional hires. So let me give you an example. So things like when we would onboard a new client, we had that whole system automated, like start to finish. So their whole mobilization program started, and I mean, we're talking years ago, years and years and years ago that we did this. And what it did was it sort of made our brand new client secure. There was no buyer's remorse. We were able to make sure that everybody that needed, like all the information that needed to be shared for that mobilization, for that startup, for that go live day, all that information was automatically going to the right people at the right time. And so things were just smoothing out communications and, making sure everything happens when it's supposed to. We were able to fine tune that to such a point that we could really depend on it. And it made so much difference. So we did all of that for our customer facing stuff, anything that had a customer involved in it, we automated it. And then we kind of said, okay, well, that all works really well. And that's really been a huge benefit to the company. What about if we automated all the internal stuff as well? So then we did that, onboarding team members, internal stuff, checking insurances, like anything and everything. We automated it, and it was a huge game changer for us. And it meant that we could keep the admin team small and keep that leanness in the business. So yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah, it's anybody that's listening right now and is saying, well, I'm just, making, $3,000, $1,000. What Lisa is saying, and I will, Lisa, help me here if I'm saying it wrong, but whether you're just starting or you're already scaling, a CRM is the most important operational system that you put into your business so that it flows so many things through that system to create a better experience, not only for your field team, but for your clients. And as you build that one system first, you will then be able to see an overview of other systems that are capable of coming into your business.
Absolutely. And I mean, look, today it's AI. Of course, everything now is AI. My entire Instagram feed is just all AI stuff. I don't know about yours, but mine is huge. And so now having the CRM system and then adding AI to that is just it's a game changer. And that's what we're doing now. So what we did back in the day with the CRM system, we are now very, very much using AI in the business. But if you're just starting out and you've got a small business and you're just starting out, 100% CRM system, you have to have it. It will support the business. It'll allow you to grow. The other great thing is that it will allow you to build a database of prospects, and this is what you can use for going back and marketing to them. Maybe you didn't win the business, but that doesn't mean you can't win the business in 6 months' time or a year's time. So a CRM system really helps you keep track of things, where if you didn't have that, it becomes almost impossible to keep track, to be honest.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's impossible for you to even operate effectively. You would be overworking. There's so many cracks, opportunities to make mistakes, misleads. I've talked to a lot of people that have all of their client information on their personal phones. They're scheduling on a calendar, or they send the cleaner schedules through a text thread. You know, it's there's a point where that maybe works, but I believe that if you're going to start anything and you're going to really put all your all to it, you have to start thinking like that business that you do want to be at some point, even if it sounds unrealistic, right? To say, I mean, if you're currently making $1,000 a month and you're like, how am I can't even fathom seeing, having a $500,000 business. Well, okay, what can you do to be able to start making decisions like that $500,000 business a year and start implementing the things now to be able to be successful when you get there, and you're not just having to fix, everything at that point. I mean, I'm sure you guys not having you guys not having a CRM and making $700,000 a year, like, and you're writing everything on paper, like you being a sales and marketing person, and like, I'm sure when you came in, you're like, wait, what? I'm
I
sure
did.
that saved your husband and the process dozens and dozens of hours. By the way, I run everything through Jobber.
Quotes, schedules, payments, the whole thing makes life way easier. Honestly, I can't imagine running the business without it. Get my special offer at the description below. It's 14 days free. Then you get 20% off for the next 6 months.
More than dozens and dozens, I would actually say. But yeah, look, I came from an industry where everything was on a CRM system. So like, yes, as soon as I hit Clean Corp, I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. But you can get to I want to be clear here, especially for anyone who's new to the industry. You can do it, but only for a short period of time. And definitely, if you want to, if you want to get serious about your business and also you want to be building something that perhaps in the future you can sell, you have to have a CRM. You really do, because that is just going to keep everything where it needs to be. And these days, there's a lot of different choices. You don't have to go with anything super like high tech. You just, in the early days, often with CRM companies, they've got like a base level and then you can work your way up. That's what I'd recommend. Just get something in there so that you've got one place where everything kind of happens within the business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's easy. 40 dollars a month is very affordable. And it's so helpful to not store client information, leads, scheduling your teams through your cell phone. It's time to make that decision, invest in your business, and you will definitely be able to see the lens of how to be an operator and not to just be a, you don't want to play business. You want to be playing a scalable business, and that takes investing in your business and making, different decisions. What decision had the biggest ripple effect on growth?
The decision to go all in with our website, that was the single biggest thing. So up until like when I first joined the business, my husband didn't even have a website.
No, not at all.
Don't tell anyone I told you. We didn't have a website. Like, we didn't have a website. What the hell? And so kind of, I mean, when you think about it, to be able to get to that level without a website, impressive. But
And a
still,
CRM.
and a CRM. But why we didn't, I think it wasn't his native genius. And so, you got to play to your own strengths, right? So when I came in, that was a big one for me. So instantly, I put together this CRM, and I laugh about it now because it was so awful. It was the worst. It was the worst website you've ever seen in your life. It really was. It was so terrible. Because you know what I did? I came in, I didn't know anything about the industry. And I looked at all these other websites that were out there for other cleaning businesses. And you know what I saw? I saw blue. I saw green. I saw photos of people with mops and buckets and crap like that. And I thought, oh, well, that's what I have to do then. It was the worst. And of course, when we first started, I put ad spend, put Google ad dollars behind it, and the leads started to come in. But then time went on, and I realized that we looked exactly the same as every other cleaning business on the planet, not just in Australia, every other business on the planet. And
With all the
all we,
stock photos.
what, you are not kidding, like the worst. I wish I could bring it back to show you. It was just terrible. And, it makes me laugh just and cringe simultaneously. So, but it worked. Here's the thing, that stupid, ugly website worked, and we were getting leads very regularly, but I knew that we could do better than that. And so as I became more experienced in the industry, I realized that rather than being the same as everybody else, if I positioned us as far away from everybody else as humanly possible, then we'd be, I don't know if you could see my hand, we'd be over here. And everybody else would be lumped together over here. So when a client or a prospect looked at the industry, we would look different. And that to me felt like a really good space to sit in, like a really nice pocket for us. And so I started to do that. And I changed the website entirely. in order to be as different to everybody else. I used images of us, our people. I used a different color palette, different wording. I worded it differently. I used the content to tell a story rather than just say me, us, we, which pretty much every other cleaning industry website talks only about themselves. They're completely egocentric, and that doesn't solve the problem of the prospect who's landed on your webpage. So I started to do that, and it was like I turned on it just turned on. It turned hard because all of a sudden, the people who were interested in cleaning services, they hit our pages, our website, and they relaxed because they saw that we understood exactly what they needed. And so it gave us a tremendous advantage in the marketplace, and it enabled us to grow really fast after that.
Yeah, you being in the space of sales and marketing, that is just your experience of understanding, hey, brand, the message that you create for people it needs to make them feel like you can solve a problem that they're looking for. And if your website speaks that problem, puts that problem right in their face, they're just like, they understand me.
Yeah.
And especially when you put team photos, your actual team in uniform in your website, that alone differentiates you from all of these stock photos. Like,
Yes.
people know, like, that's definitely not your employee. Like, that person is too beautiful to be your employee. Like, they're all wearing different colors. Like, it needs to be branded, and team photos are the best thing. They're so simple. Take your phone out, take some pictures of your team, put it on your site, and the colors that you choose for your business, make it blend in through your website, make it look nice. I don't believe we need to spend all of our attention to it, but have a basic understanding of my website needs to solve a problem. It's a landing page to give people an understanding of who we are and how we can solve that problem. So I'm glad that you said, like, you started changing the words and started really adding team photos in there, because a lot of everybody's website just looks all the same, and you have like 3 seconds to get people's attention. Like, if they can't get to a booking page or a price fast enough,
They're
you lost
gone.
them.
They're gone.
They're gone.
That's right. That's right. And the thing is, if they see that same stock photo on multiple websites, congratulations, you've just turned yourself into a freaking commodity. And that is as far away from what you want in this business as you can get. People buy from people. So the person that is looking to replace the cleaners in their organization, or the procurement manager, or whoever it might be, the building owner, they just want to know that real people are behind that business. And the best way to do that is to put real people on the website and put yourself out there too. Like I've got a few clients that I coach, and when I first looked at their websites, there was not a shred of them anywhere on their websites. And it's such a missed opportunity for you, because people want to know the story behind the owner of the business. They just do. People are curious. The third most viewed page on any website is the About Us page. So if you think about, your landing page is the most viewed, the second most viewed is the conversion point, and the third most viewed is the About Us. So you want to make sure that you are there, like, as much as you can. So tell a story, show who you are, and people will feel like, oh, I like the look of that guy. I like, she looks nice. I like the sound of them. They'll click, they'll convert, and you'll get an opportunity.
For sure. We're in the people business. Not only do we need people to provide the service, but we also need people for us to provide our service too. So it's a people thing, and it's not everybody's going to be your ideal client, but you want your ideal client to be able to read your message, be able to see your company and say, that's who I want to work with. That wraps up part 1 with Lisa Macqueen. We covered systems, marketing, branding, and operational changes that helped them go from 700K business to over 7 figures. But we're just getting started, because in part 2, Lisa shares some of the biggest business failures that they had and why every cleaning company should think like a media company. We also go through how to build a culture that people actually want to be a part of, and that mindset shift that helped them scale to be one of the largest cleaning companies in Australia. I'm excited to get into this episode. We'll see you in part 2.